Hello, everyone. My name is Nancy Dunham. I'm the principal analyst for retail at Ward's Auto. Thank you so much for joining us for the Autotrader Ward's Auto Fast Chat. Today's topic is stop leaving money on the table, ensuring you're making the most of your co-op dollars. And we are lucky to have Michele Wright with us today. Michele is the director of sales for Autotrader and Kelley Blue Book, which are both, of course, part of Cox Automotive. Welcome, Michele. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Nancy. It's amazing to be here. I feel extremely honored to have this conversation with you today. I love Ward's Auto and everything that you do, and I'm very excited to be getting to know you today and have this conversation.
Well, I'm excited too. And, of course, we have talked a little bit about the topic, you and I, with the co-op advertising budgets and so forth, and why dealers need to make the most of them, especially right now. And I'd love to just jump right into it so you can share some of this incredible knowledge you have with our viewers. So
Yeah.
I'll jump right in. Tell us a bit about why you think co-op advertising has been, and of course will continue to be, such an important channel marketing strategy for auto dealers.
That's an amazing question. I mean, co-op was created to allow dealers to really utilize funds and extend brand recognition in their local markets. So a lot of OEM suppliers provide extra advertising dollars to their dealers to help in their advertising efforts on a local level to extend that brand. What a lot of dealers don't realize is it can be a use it or lose it situation. So it's very important to stay on top of those co-op dollars and make sure that you're utilizing everything that you possibly can to extend your advertising and your brand in your individual market.
That's an excellent point, as you and I have discussed before, as you move into the second half of the year. That's especially critical right now,
Right.
I would think.
Definitely is. Things have been changing, and then we can talk about that a little bit more. So it's definitely time to reassess where you're at with your co-op.
Well, let's go right into that then. What are some of the things that have changed or shifted, in the whole industry, but certainly specifically looking at dealers when it comes to the co-op advertising,
Yes,
especially post-pandemic, if you will?
mhm.
It supports, why should dealers be interested? Why should they refocus on the co-op strategy?
Definitely. Well, I mean, Nancy, I think everyone in the Autotrader world, the automotive world as a whole, has seen such amazing changes in the auto industry in the last 4 years. It's been quite a roller coaster ride. So during the pandemic, inventory wasn't available. And it was really a dealer's market, was a seller's market. They couldn't get inventory fast enough. New car factories were shutting down. We had a parts shortage. There was a time in our industry that I don't think we've ever seen. Dealers were making more money than possible. It wasn't hard to sell through their inventory. However, coming out of the pandemic, what we're seeing is inventory is back. And because of that, it's more of a buyer's market. So it's harder to sell through this inventory. And unfortunately, that's caused a lot of turnover in dealerships. So the processes they've had to manage their co-op in the past have fallen by the wayside. And a lot of dealers are missing out on utilizing those co-op funds now that new car inventory has come back. So I met with a dealer the other day, and he was under the impression that his controller was handling all the co-op funds and using those appropriately. The controller was under the impression that the marketing team was doing that. And it turned out neither one of them were, with a lack of process or communication. He pulled up his co-op funds and realized he had over $100,000 that he was about to lose in free advertising that he could utilize to help push the inventory. So that's something that dealers really need to pay attention to. And what is their process? Are they utilizing everything that they can and making sure to stay on top of that? So new car inventory is back and it's starting to age. This is causing problems for dealers. They're paying flooring costs that were never issues for them before. So it's causing additional pain points that they have in the dealership. If you have free advertising money available to you, the best way you can unload that new car inventory is to use that money and be specific to use it in different ways to help you unload that. Another thing that's happening that we are seeing nationwide that was caused by the pandemic is customer loyalty. It's at an all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, during the lack of inventory and the lack of vehicles being readily available, consumers stopped being loyal, not only to brands, but to whether they were open to new or used or specific dealerships. They were taking whatever they can get. And coming out of the pandemic, that is still in the consumer's mind. They're not as loyal as they used to be. So it is very important for dealers to use their co-op funds to expand that brand in their local markets. And it's the perfect opportunity for them to conquest customers that may not have looked at their brand before.
I'm really glad you mentioned the dealer flooring costs because I know that that's a real issue for dealers. And of course, they're battling about high interest rates, new car prices, just everything like that. So what you're saying makes perfect sense to me. Now, I realize, and you touched on it, you talked about the dealer you met with, which is so helpful. Obviously, everybody viewing can't meet with you, sadly for them. But I wonder if you can tell me a little bit about how Autotrader is helping dealers, just make the most of those co-op dollars and make sure they're not leaving any money on the table, especially as we go into the second half of 2024.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about Autotrader is we've hired the best of the best in the industry as consultants. So our dealers can work with someone and customize a solution based on what their needs are. Our co-op solutions are not a set it and forget it cookie cutter approach for everyone. Mm-hmm. We'll actually sit down with dealers and customize a solution that works for them. We work with 17 different manufacturers.
Wow.
And they cover our co-op solutions anywhere from 50 to 100% of what we can put together. And again, we can make that specific for a specific dealer and what their strengths and weaknesses are and how to help them through that. We make it extremely easy as well. So we provide all the co-op documentation they need. We work with them, and we can also do an Autotrader managed solution where we can protect the dealer from any infraction or compliance issue if they do their co-op completely through us.
You're too modest to say it, but I'll say it. I know that Autotrader and Kelley Blue Book are the #1 most used third-party automotive sites to research and shop online, which is incredible. And one reason, certainly, that we're so thrilled to have you here today. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about the results dealers you're working with are seeing when they use Autotrader's listings and advertising solutions that, are co-op eligible.
Definitely. So we not only are the #1 audience, so thank you for saying that. So utilizing your funds with Autotrader and Kelley Blue Book will definitely get you the most bang for your buck. The reason being is we have the most consumers coming to our sites. So you get to put your message in front of the most people and the most in-market shoppers than you could with anyone else. We have the best consultants that can customize that solution for you. So recently we met with a dealer with one of my amazing reps who's just phenomenal. She was able to put together a solution based on specific new cars that he was having a hard time selling. What we realized was we didn't have enough shoppers in his immediate market for those vehicles. Using our data, we were able to find a nearby location that had more shoppers than cars available for what he needed to sell.
Sure.
So we were able to customize a solution that not only helped him get off those vehicles, but that also covered the rest of his inventory as well. After putting this together, the dealer increased his sales month over month by 17%.
Wow.
And that was not just his new vehicles. It had an effect on all of his inventory because when we're putting that messaging out there, it brings more consumers into the store. So that helps you all around with all of your sales.
Wow, that's exciting. If I was a dealer sitting at home, I'd want to know, or sitting in their store, I should say, I want to know what I could do to connect with Autotrader maybe take a deeper look at my co-op strategy and make sure I'm getting the most out of it, or even dealers who you're already working with,
Yes.
how should they contact you and really get in on this?
That is a great question. And I love that you brought that up because it is the time to reassess. As we mentioned earlier, a lot of people have let go of their processes. So they probably have thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars of co-op getting ready there, ready to expire. So the best thing you could do is reach out to your Autotrader rep, have a full consultation on what co-op solutions we can put together for you based on what your strategy is. Now, if you're not currently using Autotrader or co-op solutions, that's fine. You can go to b2b.autotrader.com and you can look at the top right corner of the screen where we have a button that says Get Started, and we will set you up with your local representative and go over all the solutions that are specific to your dealership.
Wow, that is fascinating. I know that you're a very busy woman. I certainly appreciate you spending all this time with us, Michele. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. This has been a real pleasure. I really appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure. And viewers, thank you so much for watching our Fast Chat series with Autotrader and Ward's Auto. Joining me today was Michele Wright, Director of Sales for both Autotrader and Kelley Blue Book. I'm Nancy Dunham. I'm the Principal Analyst for Retail at Ward's Auto. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.